What's good, y'all? Yawn. I wanted to explain a little bit about like how I actually got here because I don't know. I've been watching back my vlogs sometimes, and now I've gone through the most spiritually trying, emotionally draining situation, and now I'll just come on here and be like, "Hey, y'all, so we about to go," and like y'all never even see that, and like yeah, I don't have to like wallow in the despair that comes along with that sometimes, but I also want to acknowledge it because at the end of the day, there are lessons in there, and they show like when you're doing God's work, it's also gonna be opposition. So basically, yeah. So basically, I paid for my ticket ahead of time because money has been a little because of work. So I paid my ticket like last week, and I was like, and I felt that in my spirit. So I'm like, bro, I wasn't sure if I was gonna have it next week. It just was like, let me do this now. And plus the ticket was really cheap. It was like 160 or something one way, which is a lot. But like, I didn't need a round trip, so excuse me. It's favorable to like $300. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I did that, and it ended up working out really nicely. I got paid Wednesday, and they just took the money out. Um, and then I was like, okay, well, amen. God ate that. Time for me to go. Um, and so I got here, and I got all the way up to the gate, and they were like, we canceled your flight, so you don't have a ticket, so you're not going to be able to get on the plane. And I was like, oh? And mind you, this was like 5 p.m. yesterday, and so I was a little irritated, but I was like, okay, breathe. I sat back down, and I'm like, okay, what am I doing? And I was just trying to figure out like what to do. I was a little bit irritated because again, the only other airports in the area are like 20 something miles away from the destination. The airport I was going to be flying into before was going to be literally like right next to the place, and so now it's like I had to account for public transportation to actually get to the place that that I'm literally traveling to get to, right? Um, and so yeah, which is not a problem. I just kind of was like, at first, absolutely not. But after like scouring the entire airport for an ATM that would let me deposit cash into my account and finding none, my amazing family came through and were able to get me the funds that I had but didn't have, if that makes any sense, to pay for my ticket. And I was able to get a ticket into an airport that's like 24, 27 miles away, which which honestly I'm not like tripping about. It feels like it's a lot, but at the end of the day, I myself live in an area where my airport is a good 30-40 minutes away, depending on traffic. So not only am I used to it, but it's not that serious. And it's very possible, and I just have to remember that. So, any hoosers, yes, I got the flight. Um, I was really, I was flying American before, which let me not become irritated at them because they decided to delete my ticket. At this point, it was God. But yes, but then I bought a ticket for Frontier, and Frontier's bag policies are like out of this world ridiculous, like a scam. Them and Spirit. But at the end of the day, they do have the cheapest tickets on the roster, and so again, God's gonna order for my good. But I brought this big bag to carry this big coat that I also brought and this big backpack that I also brought, which I realize now looking back I definitely was bringing these things as kind of like a way to control a lot of outcomes, and like a way because I didn't feel like I had enough. Like I was gonna take just like a fanny pack with like necessities in it, and then I was like, no, I don't think I have enough. I don't think I'm prepared enough. Let me grab more stuff, which is something that I do often, especially when it comes to trips. I have a tendency to feel like I'm left out to dry a lot when I'm on a trip, even though I know I'm not. It's just like this need to be the most prepared adult ever existing, and to fulfill this need for control, which is an illusion. Because again, I have all this stuff, and now the freaking flight canceled. I have no control over that. So now it's like I should have done something better. Like no, you had no control over that. And so yes, what I did have control over is asking for help buying the ticket, finding the ticket, finding the, and obviously being here now. And the part again that got me, and God did the rest. Like truly, and I was just telling him, like, as I was walking through the day, like, bro, if it's not meant for me to go, like, just let me know, and I won't. Like, please. But it was really riding, at least in my head, on me being able to bring my bag, because like I said, Frontier bag prices are like, and like sometimes you get those crews that just want to nitpick. And obviously, I've never, not obviously, but I've never actually gotten one. Thankfully, I've never gotten one. But yet, it's still something that be in the back of my mind when I'm about to take a Frontier flight and I have a slightly bigger backpack than usual, because I didn't plan to take Frontier, bro. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, please stop playing with me. But and then the devil was trying me, y'all. I promise you, he was trying me, because I got some food, right? And then I went to the gate, and I'm like, there's no one here. That's kind of odd. So I went up to the gate. I'm like, okay, they might be just be boarding the flight now, even though I knew that they were gonna board in like an hour. I'm like, nah, they gotta be boarding if there's nobody sitting here. I walk up to the gate. Why does this man look me in my face and say, you missed your flight? Who? And when I tell you that sent me into fight or flight mode, bro. Like I started doubting myself so bad. I started tripping, and he like, would your flight to Orlando? I'm like, no. Like, my flight is to Baltimore. He's like, okay, sit down. Like, why did you tell me that? Like, why did you tell me that without even knowing, like, what flight I was even going on? But again, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. That type of stuff, it'll nag at you if you let it. Like, it can really get under your skin. So, again, I had to sit down, decompress. Like, I was sitting here, like, shaking, like, because it was so terrifying imagining that, like, after all the work that I put in, which was really God's work, because none of that stuff had to work out, but it did. Like, the money wasn't going through. It was a whole bunch of stuff, y'all. And so again, taking God out of it and putting myself in it, like, no, it's based off of me, like, no. But sitting down, taking myself out of it, like, shaking my freaking behind off, and just remembering, like, God does not berate me for my choices the way that I do, like, the way that I act like I have to make perfect choices all the time or I suck. Like, he doesn't do that. So why am I doing that? I don't know. But I do know, but like, yeah, recognizing it is one of the first steps to actually recovering from that, because no, I don't want to do that anymore. Also, the sun is coming up and it's so beautiful. But yeah, so tell me why an hour later, after like listening to some great worship music and remembering that God freaking loves me, that he does not behave to me the way that the world behaves to adults and just people in general, with this like, you have to take care of yourself mentality. God does not deal with that. Like, he says, do your freaking best with the resources that I gave you and trust me with the rest. And that's what I did yesterday. And it felt good. It felt like weird to do it, because again, I had this need to like want to just but like it still felt good, because it was, yeah, it allowed me to have peace. But then I literally I'm like, oh my gosh, but this bag, Lord, okay, like, you going, and why does the lady like incur, like, she's like, if anybody's going to Baltimore, it's time to go, and everyone's still sitting down, like, looking around, because again, Frontier flights are usually like very, very specific. They're like, okay, give me zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and if you have this zone, then you don't have no bags. I don't want to see no bags. Like, they will milk so bad on people. And so I'm expecting this, and then she's like, y'all, do y'all want to leave? Like, she's joking, but she's like, do y'all want us to leave it out? I'm like, come on, do y'all want to go? Like, what? And I'm like, okay, let me get up. Not trying to be the first in line, but not trying to be the last. Like, just thinking too much about it, trying to like low-key trick the person, like, and it's just like, God's just in my spirit, like, why are we doing that? Like, the Holy Spirit is like, why are you doing that? There's no need, because if it's meant for me to go, it's meant for me to go. If it's not, it's not. Like, it's not really based off of nothing that I do. And again, that's so hard to swallow. Sometimes it really does feel like it's only based off of me. Like, I have to like do something or not do something for something to happen. Like, no, God's plan is too big for that. It is too big for me and my little, not to say measly, like it don't matter, but measly as in like they can't have that much effect being pleased. Like me and my measly choices is somehow changing his plan, please. And so anywho, thank you God, that was a word. Oh, I feel him moving, y'all. So this is so therapeutic, see what I'm saying? And I've never done this before. I like to just sit and wallow in the fact that like I be dealing with stuff on my own and with God and with the Holy Spirit and Jesus, and just leave it at that. Like, no, tell somebody. And share it. And I'm so thankful for the fact that I'm doing that now. Long time coming, y'all. Long time coming. But what? Yes. Yeah, and I walked up here and a lady doesn't say nothing. She doesn't even look. Everybody gets it, mind you, it's like 4 people in this line. Like, it's the flight was like very small. But we all line up And ain't nobody looking at no bags. Ain't nobody trying to scam us. Ain't nobody like, you should have bought, you know what I'm saying? You should have bought the bags when you was, booking the flight, because now they more expensive. Does anybody want to buy a bag? Like, it just be anxiety inducing, for real. It do. It is so difficult to overcome that. And so for real, especially on a day like yesterday where like I was so unprepared, which is so funny because I thought I was so prepared, right? And so we walk on, and she don't nobody even sideways glance at any of our bags. There's somebody who has a trash bag around their freaking luggage, and I'm like, bro, yeah, I'm right where I need to be at, And I got on the flight, and we went to freaking Baltimore, and it took like 2 seconds. I literally closed my eyes, and I woke up, and we was like there. And when we was walking out, the lady with the trash bag around her luggage was like, "This is so embarrassing," because she had stopped in front of me to like help her luggage come up. She was like, "Man, this is so embarrassing. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Bro, my is broken too. Like, look at this." Like, we're doing the best we can out here, And somebody in the front was like, "Oh yeah, no, it's not embarrassing. It happened to me before too." And it was just such a moment of special like camaraderie. I knew that God had me be on that plane for that moment, and for whatever else. Like, even just being at this airport instead of Ronald Reagan, like the fact that I get to commute into DC instead of having to just be there and just kind of look around. God knows I love that. Like, He knows I love me a journey, especially because I haven't traveled since January. So like, He knows I love me a let's go out, let's explore a new place type of thing. And I've never been to any of these places, so it's like the whole time He was trying to give me more of a journey, and I'm like, grr, it's my fault. Grr, I should have done something better. Like, and so anyway, not to roll my eyes on myself like in a mean way, but just like, Ben, chill out. Like, seriously, chill out and stay chilled. Like, I was chilling out the moment, like, when I was getting my food, I got a Happy Meal, which is just random, but like, it's not random because I was sitting there agonizing over what to get inside my budget, and the Happy Meal was like the only thing that was gonna give me fries and a nug. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a Happy Meal. Plus, it's just cute because I am God's child forever and ever, and I never have to feel like, no, I'm a grown man. I need a grown man sandwich. Like, please. And so, anywho, I got my Happy Meal and I was just smiling. I was listening to a cartoon outro, and just feeling very childlike in God's eyes, and understanding that I can't change any of this stuff. Like seriously, like whatever involvement I have, it's not going to affect the plan as a whole. It's just going to, like, I don't have that much power, basically. And I don't need that much power, and I need to stop trying to take it back. And so I felt really great. And then I walked up to this man, and he's talking about something, you left your flight. And so seriously, it was a reminder that, like, even though I consciously knew that I didn't need to control anything, that I'm God's child, my body for sure just flew into that fight or flight mode immediately at even being presented with the possible opportunity of something not going in a way that I wanted it to. And immediately that was my fault. Like, immediately it was like, if this flight left me, it has to be my fault. It can't be the airlines. It can't be them leaving early. It has to be me. And that's just something I'm working through, because like, everything is not freaking me. Most things are not me. Like, I do a lot of things in a day, but the things I blame myself for, whoa. And so seriously, I'm just thankful that God is a God of details, and that I don't have to worry about him. Yeah, like, I don't have to worry about him. Like, the fact that I'm on the side of the side of the airport where the sun rises, like, he didn't have to allow that, but he did. Like, simple as that, bro. Like, he's a father, he's a father, and I don't have to sit up there and try and, like, look over his shoulder at all his duties. Like, I don't even want to. So that was 13 minutes of me telling you that anxiety is conquerable, even though I be needing to know it thousands of times, which is why I recorded this for real. Like, it's for you, but it's for me for real, so that I can look back and remember, like, no amount of any situations is gonna be cause for worry. They might create the opportunity to worry, but they will never be needed. And definitely don't put yourself in that spot of God of, like, everything is my fault. I have to make everything work. It's my fault if it doesn't go right. Like, no. Remember that God's plan is bigger than us. And so even if we have a plan, it doesn't mean that God's going to go along with that. Like, because his plan is greater. Like, he's seeing more of the picture. Like, I'm seeing, like, it's time for me to go to this con. I want to be right next to it when I fly in. I don't want to have to go nowhere. I want to get there and get out. And God was like, actually, let me show you a cute sunrise from Maryland real quick.